In the name of Jesus. Amen. The subject of marriage and marital imagery runs deep in the Bible, beginning at Genesis chapter 2 and all the way through. The relationship between man and woman is compared to the relationship between God and his people. We have that picture that we heard about in Isaiah. For as a young man marries a young woman, so shall your sons marry you. And as the bridegroom rejoices over the bride, so shall your God rejoice over you. That's the picture of God that we get. The God of enduring faithfulness, who will sacrifice all things for the sake of his bride, church. But of course, there's also a darker side of that picture. Like we hear in Hosea and other places, whenever Israel would fall into idolatry, it was really pictured as though they were committing adultery against their God. Kind of makes a little bit more sense of that line from the conclusion of the commandments. I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God, punishing the children for the sins of the fathers, etc. So God is the one who loves, who sacrifices, who gives, who will do all things for the sake of his bride. And Jesus, too, uses this picture. I don't think I even know how many of Jesus' parables start with, and there was a wedding feast, or something along those lines. That image of the wedding banquet is woven throughout Jesus' parables. And even in Ephesians, St. Paul will compare the relationship between husband and wife to Christ and the church. That's the picture that we get in the Bible of how God longs to be with his bride. That this relationship between God and his people is so intimate, it is so perfectly bound, that he will do all things for you, his bride, his church. So it would make sense that at the very center of our worship of God, there is a feast. There is a wedding banquet on the way in the Lord's Supper. We have that kind of mentioned in our sermon hymn there, Hasten as a bride to meet him. That great Lutheran communion hymn, Soul, adorn yourself with gladness. Or we even pray about this very often in our liturgy, about the marriage feast of the Lamb, which has no end. That is the banquet we gather together. It's almost like the picture that we have here of this banquet with our Lord is a reflection of the eternal banquet that will be with God for all time. I think there's really a great amount of comfort in recognizing that as we gather with angels and archangels and all the company of heaven for this wedding feast that has no end, heaven and earth come together, the party, the banquet, really has no end. It is the banquet feast of all eternity. It's no wonder that the hymn writer would say, hasten to meet him. And yet sometimes, because this banquet, this foretaste of the feast to come is so ordinary, it's so hidden, we forget. We forget to hasten. We rather act a little bit more like some of those in the parable. Well, I would like to hasten, Lord. I've got a lot of stuff on my plate today. Maybe I'll hasten next week and come to the banquet. Very easy to do. In the ordinariness of our liturgy and of our worship, it is so hidden that we can forget. the glory of God that is in our midst. The God who loves us as the bridegroom longs for the bride. So at this banquet, there is joy. There is joy. There is joy because he gives his body and blood to you. There's joy because this God who loves you with an everlasting love has sacrificed his own Son so that you would be wed to him forever. And that's a pretty good picture of God's love for us. In the name of Jesus. Amen. And now the peace of God, which passes all understanding, keep your hearts and minds in true faith for life everlasting. Amen.